Good evening, everyone.
Good evening, sir.
Sir, runners date ante em sir?
Runners date ante, say for example, you do not have a SID file. Okay. Current license to ledanukondi. So every time, say for example, whatever the SID file that you installed and you are using, that SID file is like expired in 2022 March. Okay. Every time, if you want to open the SaaS software, what you should do? So the system birth rate, say for example, it was 2021 February, maybe 10 or somewhere. Now your SID file has expired in 2022 March, say for example 20. This is the SID file that you have. Okay. Now if you want to open the SaaS software in your system, if you want to open the SaaS software in our system, you know what you should do? You should always keep your system date between 2021 February 10 to 2022 March 20. Okay. This is what we should do every time. But every time keeping the date and open the SaaS software again, changing that into current date, it will take a lot of time. Every time keeping your system time to that time, opening is a very annoying process, time-taking process. Then we have an application now, and the application name is Run As Date. When you're opening the SaaS software for the first time, open the Run As Date application and keep a old date that is present between these two dates and create a desktop shortcut. So if you create a desktop shortcut with this past, the date which is between these two dates, from now onwards, every time you no need to keep a system date to old data. So whatever the desktop shortcut that you created on our desktop, now by clicking on that, now the Run As Date application will open SaaS software with the old date, so that you no need to do it every time. Understand what I'm saying?
సార్ అంటే ఆ 2 dates మధ్యలో మనం ఏ డేట్ అయినా పెట్టుకోవచ్చా సార్ దాంట్లో?
ఒకసారి ఆ సిస్టమ్ డేట్ ఆ రెండింటి మధ్యలో ఏదో ఒక డేట్ పెట్టి ఒకసారి రన్ చేసి డెస్క్టాప్ మీద షార్ట్ కట్ క్రియేట్ చేసుకోవాలి. ఓకేనా? ఒకసారి డెస్క్టాప్ మీద షార్ట్ కట్ క్రియేట్ చేశారనుకోండి, ఎవ్రీ టైం మీరు ఆ డెస్క్టాప్ షార్ట్ కట్ కానీ క్లిక్ చేశారనుకోండి, ఏమవుతుంది, ఇప్పుడు ఆ రన్ యాజ్ డేట్ యాప్ ఓల్డ్ డేట్ తో ఓపెన్ చేసేస్తుంటుంది అనమాట. సో మీరు ప్రతిసారి ఏం చేయాల్సిన అవసరం ఉండదు, ప్రతిసారి ఓల్డ్ డేట్ పెట్టాల్సిన అవసరం ఉండదు అనమాట. Understand?
Okay, sir.
So they have the Run As Date here. Run As Date అనేది is a free tool and free app you can download and you can install in our system. Okay. What we have discussed in the last class?
Proc append.
Proc append. Why we the proc append procedure? Why the proc append procedure? To combine two data sets, so we use a proc append procedure. It's just like a concatenation, but a concatenation is a data step program, but a proc append is a proc step. Okay. Okay. Now, after completion of the proc append procedure, the next procedure that we are going to discuss in today's class is proc options. What is this proc options procedure can do? Before moving into the proc options procedure, whenever you open the SaaS software appears in a certain way. Like, whenever you open whenever you bought a new television set, when you switch on the first time, we are going to have a certain factory settings, right? Like we are going to have certain volume, brightness, contrast, and then we are going to have color, and we are going to have so many things. That is in factory settings, default settings. But if you don't like that settings, what you will do? Later on, you change whatever the settings you want to. In the same way, when you open the SaaS software appears in a certain way. Why this is appearing in this way? Because it is in a combination of multiple options. It is in a combination of multiple options. What are the options that shows the effect in this way? What are the options that we have? And those options we call it as a global options. So far, we have seen global statements. In the same way, we are going to have any global options. So what are these options that we have? If you want to see these options, we use a procedure called proc options. Now I'm writing a proc option semicolon run. If I select this program and execute the program, what and all the options that are available in SaaS 9.4 version, all these options will print in the log window. Can you see on the left side, we can see the option name. On the right side, we can see the definition of that option. So the SaaS 9.4 software is appearing in this way because of all these combination or cumulative effect of all these options. Understand this one? So by changing these options, we can change the environment, we can change the appearance of SaaS 9.4 version. So on the left side, we can see the option name. On the right side, we can see the definition or value of that option. Okay. So on the left side here, I have a few options. Now, if you want, I can show you a few options that we use very regularly. And here we have all these are the options. So if you want to see the list of all these options, what are the procedure we should write? We should write proc options semicolon run. Understand this one? Now, so if I write the program proc option semicolon, it is in the log window on the left side, it is giving an option name, on the right side is giving a definition for that one. I do not want to have this much of detailed information, just I want to have the list of all the options. If you want to have the list of all the options, we are going to write proc options. Now I'm going to specify, an option called short, and then I'm going to keep a semicolon. I'm writing the run statement. Now select the program and execute the program. If I execute it, now if I go to the log window, and this is how it is going to print. Now can you see, just we are going to have a short list of all the options. Okay, so we can see all the short list of all these options. But again, if you want to see the definition of the options, again, what you should write, simply you should write proc options, semicolon, and run. And this is how we are going to write the program. Okay. But instead of, if I do this program, again, it will show that, as I said, like, option name on the left side and the definition of that one in the right side. But I do not want to see all these individual options. I want to see what are the groups that we have. If you want to see only the groups, we are going to use an option called list groups. If I specify the list groups option, it is going to show us what are the system options groups that we have. It will show that one. Now say I'm writing proc options. Then I'm writing, what is that option I'm writing? I'm writing list groups. Keep a semicolon right there on statement. Now in the log window, it will print on the left side group name, and then it will print on the right side the label of the group. So can you see these are the groups that we have? So that means what and all the options that we have seen, all these options belongs to any one of these groups. Understand this one? So on the left side, we are going to have a group name. On the right side, we are going to have a label of that group. So if you want to see groups, we should write the list groups option. But now I want to see what are the options that we have in a specific group, in one group. If you want to see what are the options that we have in one group, you know what we should write? Now I am writing proc options. Group is equal to, you want to know about which group? I want to know about, say, for example, log control group. Now I'm writing, say, for example, log control. Now keep a semicolon. Now write the run statement. Now select the program and execute it. Now in the log window, it is going to print only about only one group, which is in a log control. So I want to see what are the options that we have in a macro group. Now this time I'm writing proc options. Group is equal to, I'm going to specify the macro. It is one of the group. Now write the run statement. Now in the log window, it will print only about macro group, not about others. So if you want to print options of one specific group, we should write group is equal to group name. But now I want to print information about a specific option, not even group. I want to know about only specific option. In that scenario, we are going to write option is equal to the option name. Now see, I am writing proc options. Then I'm writing option is equal to, you want to know about what option? I want to know about, say, for example, year cutoff. Now I'm writing year cutoff. Keep a semicolon. Now write the run statement. Now select the program and execute the program. Now we are going to have information about only year cutoff. Here we have only information about. So if you want to know about any specific, one specific option, you should write proc options. Option is equal to option name. Now I'm writing, I want to know about proc options. Now I'm writing option is equal to ls. I want to know about the line size. Now I'm writing the ls. Now select the program, execute the program. Now go to that log window. Now you will have information about line size or ls. But I want to know detailed information about this line size. Just we have one line definition, but I want to have a detailed information. Now, if you want to have a detailed information, now we should write proc options. Now I'm writing option is equal to line size. Now I want to know detailed information. So I'm writing an option called define. Now it is going to give the complete information about the line size option. Can you see this time it is printing this much of information? So if you want to have a detailed information, now we should write define. But if you do not want to have a detailed, if you want to have only the value, what is the current value that we have for a line size? Now what we should do, now I am writing proc options, option is equal to line size. I want to have only the value. I am writing an option called value. Now select the program, execute it. Now you won't get the detailed information in the log window. You are going to get just the value. What is the line size value, current value? So these are the some of the options that we have in proc options procedure. Okay, tell me one more time why we read the proc options procedure, what and all the system options that are available in SAS 9.4. If you want to find it, we should write the proc options. Okay. But by default, in the log window, when I execute this program in the log window, on the left side, I will get an option name. On the right side, I will get the definition. But if you do not want to have that one, if you want to have a short list, we should write the short. by default, we are going to have an expand. But if you want to have only the groups, list of groups, we are going to use an option called list groups. But I want to know about only one group, you should write the group is equal to the group name. If I want to know about the, say, for example, SQL, you should write the group is equal to SQL. But I want to know about only one specific option. If you want to know about only one specific option, what we should write now? Option is equal to the option name. But if you want to have a detailed information, you can specify the define. But if you want to have only the value of that one, you can write the value. Understand this one? So these are the options that we have in proc options procedure. You will not have any real-time application of the proc option. Only proc option will help you to understand what and all the options that we have. Okay, what and all the options that we have to see that one as a programmer, it will help you, but there will be no real-time usage of this one. Then what we use in the real time? Now we'll discuss about some of the global options that we use in the real time. Okay, now, so for example, I want to print this as help.class. Do you know what the procedure that we write if you want to print this as help.class? We write a procedure called proc print. Okay, now say I am writing proc print data is equal to SAS help.class and keep a semicolon. Now write the run statement. If you execute this program, what will happen? You will get a print for SAS help.class. And where you will get this print? Anyone? Any idea? Where will you get this print?
In result out window.
In the output window and in the result viewer window. If you choose for output window and result window, both you will get in the both windows. So I'm executing this program. Now, can you say I'm getting the print both in output window and at the same time in the result viewer window? Okay. Now, but the question is, can you say in the output window or result viewer window where this table is printing? The table is printing exactly in the center of the page. Because by default, it will print in this way. But I do not want to print in the center of the page. If you do not want, why it is printing in the center? Because by default, we are going to have a global option. How to write a global option? By default, how we are going to have? We are going to have like this one. We are going to have an option called options. By default, we are going to have center. That's why whenever you execute any program which contains a printable result, that print will print in the center of the page. This is how we are going to have. Now I'm changing that options of center into no center. So just how we want to, if you want to have a higher volume in a television set, how you, change the setting to increase the volume. In the same way, I do not want to have in the center. Now I'm specifying options no center. This is called a global option. If I execute this option one time, from now onwards, whatever the procedure that you're writing, whatever the proc, whenever you're writing a proc print or any procedure which contains a printable result, that print will not come in the center. So it is called a global option. ఒక్కసారి కనుక మీరు గ్లోబల్ ఆప్షన్ చేంజ్ చేశారు అంటే మీ సెషన్ క్లోజ్ చేసేంత వరకు ద సేమ్ ఎఫెక్ట్ విల్ అప్లై. చూడండి, ఆఫ్టర్ సమ్ టైమ్ ఐఎమ్ రైటింగ్ వన్ మోర్ డేటా సెట్. ఐఎమ్ రైటింగ్ proc print data is equal to SAS help.by. Now if I execute the program, this print also will not come in the center. Will not come in the center. Can you see it is not in the center? And this is called global option. If you change global option one time, this option will be in effect until you close the session, or again you should change the value to get into that whatever the setting you want to have. Now again I'm going to write options. This time I'm writing center again. If I execute this center option one more time now, again from this time onwards, the entire session, whenever I write the proc print or any printable result, if you have, that print will come into again in the center. And these are called global options. In the previous classes, we have seen global statements. Remember, libname statement and file name statements for examples for global statements. And but whatever this center option that we have, this is called global option. So What is the default we have? Center. What the center will do? Every time it will print the report in the center of the page, both in output window and in the result view window. But if you do not want to have in the center, what we should do? You should write options, no center. If you specify option, no center, that whatever the setting that you changed, that will affect the entire session until you close the session or you open it, you change it again. Clear, everybody? Now, this time I am writing, say for example, again proc print data is equal to, I am writing SAS help.class, keep a semicolon, write the run statement. If I execute this program, I will get a print for SAS help.class. Now, generally in the out, you will get in the result view window and in the output window. When you open the output window, now can you say along with the report, along with the print, can you say what we have here? Here we have the date and time of the print. And along with that, even I'm getting the page number also. I'm getting, can you see 7 o'clock, 16 minutes, Wednesday, August 10, 2022. I do not want to have this date value. It's a default. Whenever I execute the proc print or a proc report, by default, you will get today's date and whatever the system date that we have. I do not want to have this date. Why we'll get the date? Because by default, we are going to have options. By default, we are going to have a date. That's why every time it will print the date in the output window. See, select the program, execute it, go to the output window. Now, can you see? Yes, I'm getting the system date. But I do not want to have the date value in the output window. If you do not want to have that one, you should change that options date into no date. Now select the program and execute this time. From now onwards in the output window, can you see there is no date value? It is printing only the page number. Today, I had given the 7th print. Now that's why, this is the 7th print. That's why I got the page number 7. Even I do not want to have the number also, page number. So by default, you will get a number because we are going to have a default option called number. Now, if you do not want to have the number, what we should do? You have to specify no number. If you specify no number once, if you execute that one once, from now onwards in the output window, you won't get the date and you won't get the page number also. But again, if you want to have a date value, what we should do? Change the global option from no date to date and execute this one time. From now onwards, again, you are going to get the date value in the output window. In the same way, if you want to have a page number also, again, back change that no number into number and execute this time one more time. Now, if you execute this once and if you execute this proc print now we'll get the, again, you are going to get the date value and you are going to get the page number in the output window. Understand this one? Everybody clear? Clear and everybody?
Yes.
Yes, sir. Yes,
now,
sir.
I'm writing proc print data is equal to SAS help.hot. If I execute this program, you're going to have a print for SAS help.hot, which has got 5,209 observations. You will get a print for all. In this print, I have one of the variable called, age at depth. In the age at depth, in some of the observations, we have a missing value. When we have missing values, we have a period symbol. But when we have a missing value, I do not want to represent as a dot symbol. I want to represent as a, say, for example, X. Now, if you want to represent in that way, now whenever you want to print, now I'm going to write global options. Now I'm going to specify missing is equal to what I want to have. I want to have an X. Now, if I execute the program, now can you say whenever I have a missing value in a numerical variable, can you say how it is representing now? Can you see when we have age at depth variable missing value, so can you say how it is representing now? So you can write any special character for a numerical value. If I say, for example, I want to represent a missing value with hyphen symbol. Now, if I execute the program, now I'm going to have an hyphen symbol for that. So in the numerical variable, if you have a missing value at any observation, now you are going to have hyphen symbol for that. So whatever the special character that you want to represent any missing value, now we can specify options. Missing is equal. Can you see? Now it is presenting with an hyphen symbol. Now in this way, whenever you want to represent a numerical missing value, now we can write options missing is equal to whatever the character you want to have. Now we can write it. Now the next option, now I'm writing proc print data is equal to SAS help.cars. SAS help.cars contains 15 variables and it contains 428 observations. In the output window, this is how it prints. SAS help.cars contains 15 variables. It cannot print all the 15 variables in one line. Okay. Since you couldn't able to print all the 15 variables in one line, it is printing the first 7 variables in one line, and it is printing the remaining 8 variables in a different line. Say, for example, you have a short notebook. And I ask you, please draw a table. The table must have 15 variables. Can you accommodate all the 15 variables in one page of a short notebook? No. So then what you will do? In one line, you can write how many variables you can write. You will write those many variables, and you will continue the remaining variables in the next page or in the next line. Isn't it? In the same way, output window couldn't able to print all the 15 variables in one line. It couldn't able to print all the 15 variables in one line. So it is printing the first 7 variables in one line, and it is printing the remaining 8 variables in another line. Because by default, we have a limit for the line size. Sorry, we are going to have limit for line size. That means how many characters we can have in one line. By default, we have some value. Because of that, I couldn't able to print all the variables in one line. So to determine that one, we have a global option, and that global option we call it as a line size. So right now, I want to know what the line size in the current session. So in that scenario, the procedure will help us. Previously we have written a procedure, remember? Now I'm writing proc options. Now option is equal to line size, ls. Now you can write a line size complete word, or you can write only ls. Now select the program and execute it. Now go to that log window. Now can you see in the log window, can you see what is that line size right now we have? 1 or 2 characters. That means in one line, this works for only for output window and log window. In output window and log window, in one line, right now, we can write 1 or 2 characters. That is the limit. That's why, since we have one limit for 1 or 2 characters, it couldn't able to print all the 15 variables in one line. So, but now tell me, if you want to write all the 15 variables in one line, what should I do? I should increase the line size. To how much extent I can increase. If you want to know that one, now see what I'm going to do, the same proc options. So this time I'm writing it different because I want to know the detailed information. Now, if I execute this program, now in the log window, we are going to have so much of information. In that, can you see we have one of the information? Can you see what we have? The minimum line size that we can have is 64 characters, and the maximum that you can have 256 characters. But right now, what we have? Right now, we have 1 or 2. Since we have only 1 or 2, it couldn't able to print all the 50 values in one line. Now I want to increase the line size to maybe 200. If you want to increase to that, now what should I do? Now I'm writing options. Line size is equal to 200. It's a global option. Now I am writing proc print data is equal to SAS help.cars. Now see, I increase the line size to 200. Now if I execute the program, now can you see in the output window, can you see now all the 15 variables are printing in one line. Previously, it used to print like 2 lines, but now it is printing everything in one line, all the 15 variables. So to increase the line size or decrease the line size, what is the option we are using? ls. What is the minimum that you can keep? Minimum that you can keep 64, and the maximum that you can keep is 256. So it depends upon your requirement. You can keep anything between them. But if you want to change that one, what you should write options, ls is equal to or line size is equal to how much number you want to carry. So from now onwards, until you close the session or change the value, from now onward, the line size is going to be 200. Understand this one? In the same way, we are going to have one more global option called page size. You know what you mean by page size? How many lines you can print in one page? You know, generally, if I ask you to write a story should have like 600 words. But I have given a short notebook. Can you write all the 600 words in one page? No. What you will do? What you will do if it is since it's in a short notebook? You will continue the next line, next page, isn't it? You will continue. In the same way, when I execute the proc print, SAS.cars, say what is happening? It couldn't able to print, SAS.cars contains 428 observations. It couldn't able to print all the 428 observations in one page. That's why it is split into number of pages. Now, can you say, I'm going to the start of the, this is the starting page. How many observations we have in one page? Can you say observation number 1, 2? Can you say how many we have? 15. That means in one page, it can print 51 observations. Understand this one? So this is the limit that we have. I want to see what exactly, how many lines that we can print in the current session right now. What is the system setting that we have? If you want to know that one again, what we should write? We should write in a procedure called proc options. Now I'm writing proc options. So option is equal to for which option you want to look for? I want to know about the page size, PS. Now write the run statement. If I select the program, execute the program, yes, we are going to have page size option. Can you say right now what is the size that we have page? We have 56. But when we have a size 56 in the output window, why it is printing only 51 observations? Before that, we have one line SAS system heading. Okay, SAS system heading we have. And then we have one blank line. 2 lines got wasted. This is the third line wasted. Fourth line, that means 2 lines for variable names. Total 4 lines and 1 line wasted between the variable names and the data 5 lines wasted. Out of 56, if 5 lines wasted, then that's why it is printing only 51 observations. But I want to print all the 428 observations in one page. So then what should I do? Now I will go to the global options. Now I'm writing options. So page size is equal to, you can keep minimum 15 and you can keep maximum 32,767. Again, if you want to know that what we should do, I am writing, define option in proc options, go to the program and check the log window. Now, can you say what is the minimum and what is the maximum that we can have now? Minimum that you can have 15 lines in one page and maximum that you can have 32,767. So right now I have 428 observations. I want to print all the 420 observations in one page. So that's why you see what I'm writing. I am writing options. So page size is equal to, I want to have maybe 500. Now I am writing proc print. Data is equal to SAS help.class semicolon run. Now, since we have page size 500, now say in the output window, can you say what is happening? So did I write this SAS.class? I will write SAS.cost. Now, if I execute this program, can you say what happened now? Now, see, I'm scrolling up in the output window. There is no page break at all. Can you see? All the 420 observations are printing now in one page. Understand this one? So to increase the page size, we use an option called PS. Clear, everybody? Now I'm writing a program. I'm writing data class set SAS.class. Now I'm writing, say for example, x is equal to, I'm writing, say for example, I will write age 1 is equal to age age plus 10. If I execute this program, what I'm going to have along with the 5 variables, I'm going to have in a 6th variable. That is fine. I have written some program. But if I go to the log window, now can you see, we can find two types of information. What is this? It is the code that what we have submitted. And this is the nodes that what we have got by executing the program. So when I execute the program, in the log window, we will get two types of information. One is the source code and another one is the nodes. It is by default, whenever I execute the program, we'll get it. By the way, I do not want to see anybody, my log window. I do not want anybody to see the code in the log window. If you did not want to see by somebody, what you're going to do? Now I will go to write global options. So I am writing an option called no source. By default, we are going to have a source. Since I'm writing no source from now onwards, see, first of all, I'm cleaning the log window. Now I'm executing this program. Even though I'm executing the program, from now onwards, I will not get the source. I will not get the code. I'm going to get only the nodes. Understand this one? Now, I'm cleaning the log window again one more time. Now, this time, I'm writing no source and no nodes. If I specify no source and no nodes, if I execute the program, from now onwards, you won't get even the nodes also. You won't get anything. When you're writing an online exam, what companies will do? The companies will share their server and you have to write the code in their server. When we're writing the code, what you will do? You will write a code, and once you have written the code, you will check the log window. If you have any errors, then what you will do? You will make changes in your code, right? But what they will do? Before giving the permission for you to write the code in the server, they will disable that log window. That means they are going to write no nodes, no source global option. So when you write the code in the server, you won't get any information in the log window. You don't know where you have the mistake. If you have a log window, by checking the log window, you can understand what are the mistakes that you committed. So according to that, you will make changes. Since they are going to disable it by specifying no nodes and no source, even though you execute the program, you won't get any information in the log window. So it is going to be very difficult for you, to find out where you have the mistake. Understand this one? And this is how no nodes and no source works. Now, the next one is, now see, I am writing data class set SAS data class. Now tell me, if I execute this program, where this data will be get saved? Anybody?
In work library.
Why this is saved in the work library? Why did it get saved in the work library?
Dot class library.
So I told you, it's a default. The primary library is the work library. So work is a default library. Why it is a default? Because this is how we are going to have a global option. Options, we are going to have an option called user is equal to work. That's why whenever you write a one level naming, automatically that data set will be get saved in the work library. Understand this one? But now I want to change my default library from work to some other library. So to change that one, see what I'm doing? I'm going onto my desktop. I'm creating a folder, a new folder, and I'm changing it as a name. Say, for example, I'm changing it as a name, my SAS data. So I'm getting the path of this folder, shift right click, copy as path, go to the program. I am writing log. I'm writing, lib name, library name. I want to have an string name, then path of the folder, select this one line and execute it. What is the library I'm going to have now? Training. Now see what I'm doing. Now I'm writing a global option. So, user is equal to Srini. You know what? If I execute this one line now, from now onwards, who is my default library? My default library is going to be Srini. See, now, if I write one level naming, if I write a data class, okay, set SAS data class, if I execute the program, what will happen now? This will be get saved in my library, which is called Srini. Because from now onwards, the default library is Srini, not the work. Now I'm writing data cars, set SAS help.cars. Now tell me where this will be get saved now? Srini, because Srini is the
Srini
default library now. Now see, if I execute this program, now I'm going to have this data set in the Srini. But now, if you want to save this data set in the work library, you know what you should do? You have to know. You have to write two level naming. ఇక్కడ నుంచి కనుక మీరు వర్క్ లైబ్రరీలో సేవ్ చేయాలనుకోండి మీరు ఏం చేయాలి? You should write the two level. Otherwise, this will not be get saved in the work library. So now if I write the work.cars, now this will be get saved in the work library. Otherwise, if you write a one level naming, automatically this will be get saved in Srini library. This is the reason why work was at a default. Default కాబట్టి మనం one level naming రాసినా కానీ వర్క్ లైబ్రరీలో సేవ్ అయిపోతుండేది. మళ్ళీ ఇప్పుడు నేను వర్క్ లైబ్రరీ కనుక డిఫాల్ట్ చేయాలనుకోండి. If you want to make again work library as a default, what should I do? Again, you should write options. User is equal to work. Otherwise, you should close the session and you should reopen the session again. Once you close and reopen a session again, everything will come to again default. Understand this one, everybody? Now,
Yes,
I'm
sir.
writing proc print data is equal to SAS help.class semicolon run. If I execute this program, yes, you'll get output result in the output window. But sometimes people often complain me the output window is not visible. The letters are very small. I want to increase the letters. And I want to change the style. Again, if you want to do that one, we should write in global option. Now I'm writing options. Font is equal to. Now within the parentheses, what is the font I want to have? I want to have, so for example, you don't need to write the parentheses. I want to have a Vardhana. I'm writing Vardhana, and I want to have size maybe 10. So this is the global option I'm writing. Now select the program, execute the program. Now go to output window. Can you see how we have now? Now we have a Vardhana and we have size 10. But I want to have even bigger ones. So now I'm writing 20, and now this is how it is going to get appear in the output window. This is only for output window and the log window. I will write to this one also. What is that one? I want to have a source and I want to have a nodes. So now in the log window, we are going to have a source information and login. So this is how we are going to get it. So this font works only in output window and in the log window. Clear, everybody? I want to have something else other than but then I want to have, say, for example, Times New Roman. Now select it and execute it. Now, can you see? Now output is coming in Times New Roman. And this is called font. Now, if I execute this program, I'll close the session and reopen it again. I'm writing proc print data is equal to SAS help.class. Where we get the print in output window, right? How many observations I'll get in the print? Anybody?
19 observations.
Because SAS help.class 19, you will get all the 19 observations. Generally in the real time, why we read the proc print? I want to check whether we have the data set or not. To see that one, I don't want to print all the observations. So only sampling 5 observations would be fine. To check, so 5 observations print in that means I can understand, yes, we have the data set. Otherwise, I can say the data set is not present. So all I want to do, just print 5 observations, whatever the data set might be. If you want to do that one, now I'm writing options. So OBS is equal to, by default, we are going to have max. That's why whenever I execute the proc print, every time it prints all the observations of the data set. But I don't want to have that one. For the sampling purpose, I want to print only the first 5 observations. So from now onwards, whatever the data that you write in the proc print. See, I'm writing proc print. Generally, in the SAS help.hot, we have 5,209 observations. But how many observations is going to print now? It is going to print only the first 5 observations. By default, OBS is equal to, by default, you are going to have max. If you have a max, if I execute this one line one more time, now if I execute this program, I'm going to have 5,209 observations in the output window. Understand this one? Okay. Now, the next one. So for example, I'm writing data set name DS1. I'm writing input, ID, name, and it's a character variable. I'm writing data lines, 101. I'm writing Usha, 102, Lata, 103, Raghu, 104, Sony, 105, Lakshman, 106, Lena. If I execute this program, tell me in the name variable of DS1 dataset, right now, what is my default library? Did I change that into what library? No, didn't I change? I think I changed it. Yes. How we are going to have Usha in the DS1 dataset? Uppercase, lowercase, or a proper case? Anybody?
Prop.
Lower.
Why proper case? In the data have lowercase, no?
Lowercase.
Lowercase.
In whatever way I have written in my in-stream data, in the same way we are going to have in the DS1 data, isn't it? You know why this is happening? Because by default, we are going to have a global option. We are going to have options, we are going to have an option called no caps. That's why in the data, in whatever the way that you have written, in the same way we are going to have in the data set. Now, what I'm doing is I'm changing that no caps into caps. But now if you change that into caps, whatever they we have in the in-stream data, but in the data set, ultimately, we are going to have only uppercase. This works for only for in-stream data. Understand this one? And the in-stream data lo enduku meer data ela rasta alane untundi enduku untundante by default ఏముంటుందండి మన దగ్గర ఇప్పుడు నో క్యాప్స్ ఉంటుంది. సో నో క్యాప్స్ ఉందనుకోండి, మీరు in-stream data ఎలా అయితే ఇచ్చారో you are going to have the same way in the data set. But if you change that no caps into caps, from now onwards, in whatever the way that you read, whether you have written uppercase, lowercase, or mixed case, but ultimately in the data set we are going to have only uppercase. Understand this one? Okay. So we'll see one more option. 101. His birth rate is 23rd September 90. 102. 11 May 56. 103. 10 OCT 15. 104. 05 APR 35 and 105 11 December 78 106 30 AUG 25. I'm creating a data set name demo, input ID and date of birth. Can you tell me what the information I should write for the date of birth? Anybody?
Date 7 dot.
Date 7.
Date 7. Very good. And I'm writing a format now for the DOB. I'm writing date 9 dot. Mind you, in the in-stream data, we have 2 digits here, but for the format, I'm asking for 4 digit here. Tell me how this 90 is going to print in the data set. Anybody?
1990, sir.
56?
1856.
15?
1815.
35,
1835.
78,
1978.
25.
1820.
So when we have a 25, you are saying 1820. Why not it is 1925? Why not it is 2025? When you have a 90,
1960.
when you have a 90, why not? Why it is 1990? Why not it is 2090 or 1890? Understand my question? I'm selecting the program, executing it. See, this is how it is. When we have a 90, it is printing 1990. 56, 1956. 15, 2015. 35, 1935. You know why? So remember, this works only when we have in-stream data 2-digit year, but if you are asking for 4-digit year, by default, we are going to have a global option called year cutoff. You know what is the year cutoff value, by the way? By default in SAS 9.4, the year cutoff value is 1926. Now, from this 1926, it will take 100 years. What is 100 years range for 1926? 1926 to 2025. Now, if we have a 2-digit year in the data, but if you are asking for 4-digit format, now tell me this 90 comes which value in this 1926 to 2025? 90 ఎక్కడ వస్తుందండి ఇప్పుడు?
1990.
1990. That's why when you write a 90, you will get 1990. But if you write a 56, where it falls between the 1926 to 2025?
1956.
That's why it will print 1956. Now, if you have a 15, where it will fall between the 1926 and 2025?
2015.
That's why you will get 2015. And 35 will come as the 1935, 78 will come as the 1978, and 25 is going to come as in 2025. So that's why, see, if I execute the program demo, can you say what I have 20 when we have a 25? 2025. And this is called year cutoff. It works only in the in-stream data. We have 2-digit year, but if you are asking for 4-digit year, this will work. అంటే ఇప్పుడు మన గ్లోబల్ ఆప్షన్ డిఫాల్ట్ గా ఎలా ఉంటుందండి? ఆప్షన్స్ అని ఉంటుందండి. ఇయర్ కట్ ఆఫ్ ఉంటుంది. ఇయర్ కట్ ఆఫ్ లో ఏముంటుందండి ఇప్పుడు? 1926 ఉంటుంది అనమాట. నేను ఇప్పుడు చూడండి ఏం చేస్తాను, ఈ 1926 తీసేసి ఐఎమ్ కీపింగ్ ఇట్ యాజ్ అనే 1750. వాట్ ఈస్ గోయింగ్ టు హ్యాపెన్? మీరు ఎప్పుడైతే 1750 పెట్టారో ఇప్పటి నుంచి 100 years తీసుకుంటుంది. 750 నుంచి 100 years ఎంత అండి?
1849.
1849. Now, if it is 1849, 90 will come as how?
1790.
1790. And 56 will come as a
1756.
56. And 15 will come as a 1850. And 35 will come as an 1835. 78 will come as an 1778. 25 will come as an 1825. Now see, if I select the program and execute the program, now this is the demo data set I have. Can you see 25 is coming as an 1825, 19 coming as 1790, and 35 is coming as an 1835, 15 is coming as 1815. And this is called year cutoff. By default, year cutoff SAS 9.4 low. 1926 ఉంటుందండి. 1926 it will take 100 years. అంటే 2025 వరకు తీసుకుంటుంది. Maybe in future, in next 2 years, they are going to change year cutoff. ఫస్ట్ ఆఫ్ ఆల్ ఇయర్ కట్ ఆఫ్ ఎంత ఉందో 1926 ఉందో లేదు మీకు ఎలా తెలుసండి? హౌ వీ కెన్ చెక్ దట్ వన్? ఆప్షన్స్, సారీ, ప్రాక్ ఆప్షన్స్. ఎవరు వస్తారండి ప్రోగ్రామ్ ఇప్పుడు? ఆప్షన్ ఈజ్ ఈక్వల్ టు దేని గురించి తెలుసుకోవాలి ఇప్పుడు నేను ఇయర్ కట్ ఆఫ్. Year cutoff. Now keep a semicolon right there. Run statement, select the program and execute it. Now go to that log window. Now, just now I change it to 1750. That's I have a 750. But if I close the session, okay, and if I reopen the session again, If I execute the same year cutoff program now, procedure now, if I go to the log window, can you see what is the default that I have now? 1926. Can you see what we have specified the first year of 100-year span that is used by date information and functions to read a 2-digit year. And these are the some of the options, the global options that we have that we use in real time. And from here onwards, whenever I'm coming across any certain global option, I will let you know so that you can understand. Because understanding all the options in one go is not a good idea. During the project classes and during that like advanced classes, we are going to come across around again 25 to 30 global options. Whenever we have that option, I will let you know that one. Okay, clear everybody? Okay, then. See you
Sir,
in
send the notes.
See you in tomorrow's class. Okay.